Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGenEd. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is of Luminar Technologies, ticker symbol LAZR. And here I am recording this on Wednesday, May 8th during market hours, and Luminar is currently up just about 20% on the day, being at around a price just under $2 a share, having hit a high so far on the day of $1.99. And so this is because they did report earnings yesterday on May 7th after hours, and some pretty big news has come out. Luminar has revealed that their largest customer in quarter one was Tesla. And also, I do want to note that as far as their earnings go, their revenue for the first quarter was just under 21 million, while the consensus estimate was just over 21 million. So there was a miss there, but I do think that things are looking pretty good for the company, expanding their partnerships, expanding their collaborations, and just as their CEO says, this is the new era, and that is the Luminar era. So I do think that there is a lot of upside for the stock, but I do think that it might be approaching a pretty key level, which is $2, hitting that right now as I record this. And, I do think there might be some resistance there, but I do think that could represent a great dip buying opportunity moving forward. So I did want to go over some of these levels. Some of them I have gone over previously, but then I did just recently do this Fibonacci retracement that I do think will offer some guidance as far as levels that we might be hitting as resistance and pulling back to. And so one of those levels is this blue line here, which is at $1.85. That represented the low hit on April 9th before a little bit of a gap down. And so we have filled that gap. And also, if we do look at the close of that day on April 9th, that was at a price of $1.92. So we have properly filled that gap. So I do think that is pretty good, but that level may end up serving as support if there is a pullback. And so that level does coincide with the 618 from the retracement, which is at a price of $1.82.8 or right around $1.83. Maybe we will be retesting that level. And so, one thing that I did want to point out, before I started recording this, price was below the 786 at $1.99.6. Now being above that, what I was going to suggest is that that level may be acting as resistance. We haven't seen the close for the day, so maybe we do close below $2 a share, so good to keep that in mind. But if we do continue higher, I do think that $2.21 is going to be pretty key, which was the prior high here hit on April 4th before we saw this big down move. And so the reason why I feel that level is going to be pretty important is because if we look at the RSI relative to that prior high, we are putting in higher highs with the RSI, whereas we're putting in lower highs with the stock price. And so that is bearish divergence, or I guess I should say hidden bearish divergence. And so what we want to be seeing is not only higher highs in the RSI, but also higher highs in the stock price. Since we're not seeing that, that does suggest that we might be putting a top in soon. But I also, don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. While we're up now almost 24% on the day, it is possible that this could present risk in FOMOing into the stock. And I do think that we could be seeing a pullback. And that is really based on, these downtrends that I have highlighted, which I'll go over in just a minute, but also, based on this high here. If we do connect that point to, basically the high of the day so far, which is right around $2.07, if we draw that line, make it a little bit thicker, and then I move that pivot point to over here, I'm wondering if maybe we're seeing the start of the formation of an inverse head and shoulders pattern with the left shoulder here, head here, and then maybe we start to see a pullback to this purple downtrend, perhaps, or maybe even just the 50% level, which would coincide with the top of this left shoulder here, or the base of that shoulder, I guess I should say. And so that 50% level is at $1.71. I could see a pullback to that level. And so one reason for that is because we do see this consolidation here as well as over here. I do think that would be acting as a lot of support. And if I do throw up the volume profile, we do see a nice volume shelf right around that level. So if we do get rejected, whether it's at this downtrend that I had just drawn, if $2.07 is the high for the day, or, even if we get rejected from $2.21, I think a pullback to $1.71, I think that would be a great dip buying opportunity. But if we do go past $1.71, the 382 is at $1.59.2, and there is also a lot of support below that level. While not as much as we see at $1.71, there still is a good amount of support below that level. And that would also be coinciding with this purple downtrend, and that could represent the formation of the right shoulder before a retest of the neckline. And so taking a step back to go over these downtrends, the yellow downtrend is based on these two pivot points, one being the high hit on December 27th of 2023, and the other pivot high being the high point from February 12th. So that's how you draw that downtrend. It did look like it marked the high here. And so, now we are seeing a break above that level. We might see a retrace to the scene of the crime. But, we might find support at the purple downtrend, which is based on these two pivot lows, one being the low from November 28th and the other being the low from December 11th. That did serve as support here, and we did get a little bit of a break below it and then a bigger break below here, but I do think that those were great dip buying opportunities. If we do retrace to either of those levels, if we find support right around $1.59, I think that could be a great opportunity, because if this is to be an inverse head and shoulders pattern that is formed, we can take a measurement from the base of the head to the neckline, whether the neckline is as drawn here or if the neckline ends up being at the high of $2.21. Maybe we do see a continuation to that level, and I could actually see that being more likely, especially if we're closing today above $2 a share. And so that measurement represents a move of about $1. And then if I do take that to, move over here where we might be seeing, a break from that neckline, that could be setting price to right around $3 a share. And I do think that is a conservative approximation for where price could be going, because this neckline could be broken, as the high right now for the day is $2.07, but that might be broken later today or tomorrow. And if the neckline ends up being $2.21, that would suggest that price could be going up to, $3.20. So I think that there's a lot of great upside for the stock. And, considering that there is this high here, I could see $3 also being a psychological level, a whole dollar number being some resistance. And so, yeah, if we do see a pullback, I think anywhere ranging from, $1.75 to $1.60, I think that'd be a great opportunity to pick up some shares. Even if it goes a little bit lower, like to $1.50, I think there could be potential to double from that level going up to $3 a share. Perhaps, let's see, this is marked at the end of May. Maybe that's a little bit too soon. Maybe by the end of June, potentially we could be seeing $3 a share. But even if it takes longer than that, I think that Luminar is a great company to be investing in. I think it's got a lot of great fundamentals, great partnerships, and I think that, we might even be seeing $4 a share. Who knows whether that's this year or next year. That's a 2x from the current price. So, I think it just looks great. But, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching.